Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We review anything and everything. And today we're getting into this Amaran 150. This is a COB light by the company Amaran, which is a sub-brand of Aputure. Not the common spelling of the word Aputure when it comes to cameras. So it doesn't say it on there, but it says it over here by Aputure, even though I'm sure it's pronounced just Aputure. So we're gonna get into this. Let's put this back here. You can pause that and read that for yourself, all the details inside there. Purchase this so we can essentially level up the lighting system, which I'm definitely gonna need because right now I'm actually working on using sunlight at the moment. Actually, a little bit of sunlight I have coming into my space right here. Okay, let's put this aside and let's get into this here. All right, so let's see how this thing works. So you got this styrofoam box here. Looks like we got these clips right here, and it opens up. Nice carrying case, and it does have the handle on the side right here. Though I've heard from a few people that this is, not this one particularly, but some types of Amaran lights are hard to package back into the box. So here we got this cable here, which I assume is the main cable going from the wall outlet into the light. We've got this, which not really too sure why this looks like this. It's got this little cable to kind of lock it up. So this is a power bank here. So I guess that wall socket goes into here, and then this goes into the light. So I guess this is the power bank or brick. I usually prefer when you have devices where the brick is built into it. You got a bunch of cushioning here, which actually works out for the purpose of having more just extra cushion. Extra space if you needed to utilize that. But apparently this goes on top of the brick. We've got this here, and this is the actual light itself, and it's actually very heavy because me holding it from the angle I'm at right now, it's actually extended away from my body. So this makes it really a little tough to hold. Let's see, you got these lighting modes and whatnot. We'll get into that in a moment. Here goes the power switch over here. I hope you guys can see this well because this is one of the first times where my recording angle is actually not very conducive to where I'm actually standing or sitting in regards to the setup. So it's a little harder for me to kind of reach over. This is our reflector. And so what I understand from a lot of content that I've viewed on this product before purchasing it is that this actually increases the quantity of the light by a very good margin. It's not even a little bit, it's a lot. So that could be a positive. And then here we have some instructions. I'm gonna put that back in there for now. And so what I'm gonna do is, I am going to, let's see about plugging this in. I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna come back and plug it in just to kind of see that it works. All right, so we're plugged in. I'm gonna plug this piece here, right in here, and let's see. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just close this up for a moment. And let's see what we got going on here. Now this right here, let's see, remove the protective cover before use. So apparently removing this is a little harder than what I thought. Okay, so I didn't read the instructions, but after fiddling around with it, there is, let me bring this up here so you guys can see it. There's a little switch here. I don't know if you can see that well. Right there. So there's a switch on the side here that you could pull that pushes it down. I tried to put it down with a pen, but I realized there's a switch here. So take that off. And that should be it. So what we're gonna do now is turn it on with the on switch. Okay. This is very bright. So first what I'm gonna do is, I don't really have any kind of way to really hold this right now because we're operating without like a stand. But as I said before, there's the on switch. You see right there, it's saying 50% power. Let's see. I'm not gonna go over all the things with this, but let's see if we could adjust a couple things. This is intensity, so we're bringing that down. Let's bring it down to like 1%. So this is definitely a very powerful light. Hue. So right now this is adjusting the color temperature. So I guess if you change the mode, and I have to read the instructions on it, but once you adjust the mode, then I am sure. Okay, so what I just did there, I'm sorry, you guys can't really see this that well. I'm trying to operate where I'm holding this thing outwards. So it makes it really kind of tough doing that. Let me see if I can put this at a way that you guys could kind of see what I'm doing. I hope you guys can see it okay. But essentially right here, I pressed it in and that went from it adjusting the, I'm not too sure what that number is that I'm adjusting, to be honest with you. But it looks like it's on the line of G/M. I really got to read the instructions on it. This is really just a quick unboxing. But when I tap it in, then it goes over to CCT, which seems to be the color temperature. 5,600 Kelvin is for the most part daylight white. Obviously, this is controlling the intensity. If I tap that in, now I'm getting different color mode or hue. And then this should, I'm not sure what this is doing. It's changing. It says the percentage, but I'm not really too sure what that is. And there's the intensity on that light. It's at 50%. But when I go back here, it goes back to 1. So I'm not gonna go over the little details on all those different things, but just want to really do a quick unboxing. And this light is actually awesome. I really needed something like this in the setup. So I'm glad that I have it. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. This is actually very heavy. What's interesting is that I have a couple of light stands that I had from a few years back, and they're actually lighter, but I bought some new ones and I was wondering I was going to be able to use the old ones, but I wanted to buy the new ones just because of the sale price that was going on Amazon Prime Day. I'm glad that I did, because I honestly, truly think that this weight may not have been a good fit on that, that setup. And so I just want to add really quickly that this kind of light setup here, I'll talk as I pack some of this stuff away. This might be overkill for beginners. I actually purchased the Amaran 150c, which I'm gonna also do an unboxing of in a short while. And just to give a little context to this right here, some people feel that it's a good beginner's light if you're doing content creation, if you're doing photography, like a studio setup. And I'm not heavy into knowing the difference between flash, strobe type of lights and a steady light, but I would imagine that a steady light is probably easier to kind of work with, in that, you know, once you have your camera settings, you don't have to worry about syncing up a flash, for those who are familiar with that, or if you're new to getting into photography. That's definitely a thing that you wouldn't have to worry about if you, sorry, just want to make sure I have this in correctly. Yeah, that would have to be something that you would have to worry about if you have a steady light on. So that's why something like this is good. And with the intensity on it is really good for that, which is something I actually might play around with, because I've always been into photography back in the days, though my initial purpose of this was just improving my lighting for this setup here for my content. But A lot of people say that this is, for the most part, like one of the best beginner lights for someone to get if you're doing that kind of stuff. Content creation, like I said, it's definitely good for photography, good for, you know, any kind of video work that you're doing, even if it's not content creation like this, but you want to get into things like maybe even like your own kind of personal little movie kind of setups or things like that, like on a minor level, on a budget. But what I will say is that after doing a lot of research, this light might actually be overkill. Now, I think a lot of times when people were saying that about this light was also during a time frame in which this light was one of the only options at that time from a brand that was very well known and well received. I honestly will say that, let me see how this thing goes in here. That's one thing a lot of people always say too, is that getting these things back in is never as easy as the way that they came out. Let me just check real quick how this thing was had. Yeah, I don't know. Does it go inside like that? Not really too sure. I'll figure it out, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to say, yeah, it definitely goes something like this. I just wanted to say though that as far as where people will, you know, say as far as this being a great beginner light, like I was saying, I think a lot of people were saying that when they didn't have a lot of options, because this light I think came out a few years back and it's still popular. It's really great right now. The standard price on this link's going to be down in the description below. This goes for normally like about $350. It was on sale. It currently can get the gray model of this, just a different color, for about $250. This one was still $350 for some reason, but it went on sale on Prime Day. So just for the different colorway, obviously get the one that's cheaper color if that's the case. But just to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight, if you guys are starting off with any kind of content creation, photography, anything like that, I would actually recommend now they have a lot more other lights that are less powerful, but it's all you need, because you guys saw how I just had it. It came on at 50%, was way too bright, and then I had to dim it down. It was still bright. Obviously, once you start applying soft boxes and things of that sort, you're going to end up dimming the light, but nonetheless, it's overkill if you're in a basic size room, most settings. So I really would recommend the Amaran, if you're gonna go with the Amaran company, the Amaran 60, either X or D. The D is just one set color, which is daylight white, and then you can adjust the intensity, and then the X just has a variable color temperature, as you saw me adjusting on this one. And I honestly will recommend that. That one goes for the X version is 150. The D version is like 130, and that usually is all the power you'll ever need. Stay tuned for that review. And I really think that if you're getting into that space or this space, even if it's for things like photography, you want to do like portraits, things that sort, and things of that set, you want to do like a little studio setup or whatever the case is, I honestly do recommend going that route. This is definitely overkill. So I just want to say that. So you have a lot of people told around like, this is the greatest light, everyone should get it, everyone should get it. I honestly kind of disagree with that. I'm getting it. I don't mind getting it. If it's not inside your budget or you don't catch it on a sale day, I would say that it might be a little overkill. Now, granted, this one also can do various different colors, and the other one, the smaller Amaran that I just showed you, the 60, doesn't. If you need that, but you want a smaller size, they also have the newer 80, I want to say it's the C something. I forget exactly. But the thing about it is that one, and I'll throw that one in the link in the description as well. The thing about that one, actually, I'll throw that one in the link in the description when I do the Amaran 60, because that's more comparable to that Amaran. The only problem is that one is a little bit more expensive. And from my understanding, the build quality is a little different. So it's just a matter of, Newer is a very good brand, but they're almost like, they were viewed as like the Kia of equipment. And at a certain point in time, they got really good, similar to Kia. I made a reference to them one time in another product that I recently did not too long ago, that I reviewed. And Kia's now pretty good. So similar to that, Newer has been out for a long time, and they're pretty good as well. So you are getting a good discount. So it's just up to you what you want to choose. But I just wanted to simply make that point, that I know sometimes people will do a review on a product or unboxing on a product, and they'll tell you that you need it, everyone need it, it's the greatest thing. That's not the case here. Not everybody needs this. It's not for everybody. And I'm not gonna push it like it's for everybody because I really just don't believe that it is at all. And with that being said, you guys, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.